So, hello, let's start. So, what we're doing today is, of course, coding, but before we code, we will actually do some introduction of what we are gonna do. Let's see where it leads us, but I actually would like to start something bigger off, so to say. Um, really like to do some, um, yeah, some bigger project, let's say, in terms of game programming. And yeah, let's let's see where this leads us. So I want to talk a bit about what what I want to do, and but not to talk too much. No fears. There will be coding soon and a lot of it. But yeah, just to start up with a small intro, and let's see how we do this. So let's say what are our goals? First goal would be to write nice, actually, but okay, good. So really want to kind of write the game from scratch. Um, kind of game, well, that might change during the course of things, but I actually want to go for a real challenge. So I want to do something that really is along the line of a MMO, a massive multiplayer online game, probably RPG style. Let's see, maybe something else. Let's really see. At least it has a multiplayer component. So let's just see. So, so what we will have here in terms of technical layers, I mean, there will be some backend stuff like servers. Like we will have something for the actual gameplay. We will, and I think I should make this not so thick. It's just not readable. Then we will have something for probably user administration, something along that line. And let's actually make it a bit smaller. Um, then we will actually have some client stuff, like the actual game that runs on a machine. Like there will maybe be the what is normally referred to as the patch client, and let's call it the gameplay client. So as you can see, there's a lot of things, and it's kind of completely ridiculous to even try this. But yeah, we'll just take our time. It's like a hobby project. It doesn't really matter how long it takes. And maybe we get some people together to kind of join this and follow this. And yeah, might be some fun. We might even learn something along the way. And yeah, let's see. Some other basic, let's say, constraints, or let's say architectural design decisions that I want to take up front is like what is the language? I mean, I want to write pretty much anything in C++ because I know it decently and I even like it. It's for sure not perfect, but I like it a bit. Let's say I think it's good enough to do the job. For sure, it's good enough to do the job. The question is if, if I'm good enough to do the job, but the language itself has its has its pros and cons as any language. But anyway, I will stick with it. I wanted to do a bigger project in it anyway. In my professional programming, I'm not working with C++ anymore, so I like to do this again. Um, and we will use some frameworks. So we will not do everything from scratch, though I'm more the from scratch type of guy. But yeah, it's more like we will choose, let's say, our weapons of choices where it makes sense. So I really definitely plan to work with the simple direct media layer framework. That's the second version, SDL2. I'll come to that in a second. This will essentially provide us, that will be mainly important for the client, so we will have some platform agnostic framework for actually drawing stuff. So might be 3D graphics, might be 2D. I think we will start with 2D. That's just simpler, but then we will eventually move to 3D. Drawing stuff. It also has some nice stuff for audio output, and it also has a layer for networking. I'm not really sure if we will use that or if we won't use that until the end, but at least it has something which is quite usable, and I have used it again. I've used it already, so well, let's just see. Um, as for editors, I will actually start with GWim. So that's essentially a bit enhanced, graphically enhanced Vim editor, but you can really use anything you like if you want to follow along. Um, I will also put the code on GitHub eventually. Like I will start to put it on after the stream because there is really nothing there, so that's all live and kind of totally improvised. And it might as well be a total failure, but let's just try. Um, and as for the platform, yeah, as I said, I mean, I will develop it on Windows 10 actually. That's just my host machine here. But as we use SDL2, because of that, it should actually also be able to run on a Mac and run on Linux as well. And yeah, I might also probably try that out in the course of the stream to have executables on the different platforms and then try them out. And yeah, so let's see if there's something else that we need to define right now. I guess not. Um, for those of you who have seen some videos of mine, I'm really more the hands-on guy. I really try to make things very basic, very kind of simplistic. So um, let's maybe get some things out of the way in terms of the let's say the goals and the non-goals of this whole thing. Um, let's start with the goals again. It's like, okay, this is really like having fun, exploring, learning. Um, really like that's the main thing. All these stuff. This is really what it is. Learning. I mean, I'm not a teacher and I'm not a programming guru. I'm not a game programmer professionally. I'm I'm really just a hobbyist in this field. I do some programming professionally, but not at all in games. And so I really just do this for fun. I hope some other people will have fun too. And let's say non-goals are therefore like I really don't want to do it as a tutorial. So I think I will try to explain as many things as possible when I go along, but there might be sessions where I might not do that so much. It really depends. It depends on the on the mood and what I can do. And there is just one practical reason for it. I mean, I'm really no expert in many things that I do here. So I don't think that I can really be in a position where I say I do a tutorial on something. It's more like, okay, um, I just do things. I will fail. I will fail quite often. I will hopefully solve all the problems that I encounter, and you can watch me doing that. And yeah, so yeah, it might be a tutorial or not. Let's say this is a bit, yeah, uh, it can be a style, but it's not really meant as a fully planned and thoroughly thought out tutorial. Yeah. Um, and this is also not a course on, let's say, perfect software engineering. Um, First of all, I'm not a big fan of over constrained software engineering practices anyway. And second of all, um, yeah, probably I'm not good enough for that anyway. And I really want to get things done. So that's also something, get stuff done. And so that means get it done in one way. There might be 1,000 different ways, better ways. I'm very happy to learn about that. But this is, yeah, something I'm gonna do. And with that all said and done, let's really just jump into it. Um, we'll leave that open in the background. And yeah, let's really jump into it and try to make the game. And yeah, we just really literally start with making the directory where our game will live. Um, and let's for now just call it. It doesn't even have a name. So you see, this is how improvised this is. Let's just call it our MMO game. Um, we can change that anytime. That's no problem. Well, you see, I'm not a great planning guy. Kind of start doing things as they emerge. Um, so next thing, I would really like to have a basic structure in place where the executables go. These go, in my case, in the build directory, and I put the source code into the source directory. Um, really simple, as you can see. Let's put this in the background. Um, then for here, where are we here? Okay, let's go to MMO game, and let's start with the main CPP. Um, let's just really try to set up the basic things, that we have something that actually runs and compiles, although it's kind of empty shell, but doesn't matter. There will be a lot of stuff getting into it eventually. So let's start. Let's start with the main function. Return 0, and as always, we just greet ourselves. Hello MMA game devs. Okay, and that will be it. Yeah, I didn't want to do that. Just a second. Oh, why not? Let's see where we are here. Okay. So just writing a small build script from scratch, and we will just put the output into our build folder, and we call it game.exe. Why not? Let's see if what we have here. To build it back. And let's just run this wonderful game. Well, here we are, and we're almost finished, aren't we? Okay, so but basically this runs. Maybe just a word on what is the G++ here on Windows. So I didn't mention that. So this is actually something that I will write down here, because I might even save that mess. This is something, so it's Windows 10, but I'm using the MINGW framework, and as you can see, that's kind of the latest version, almost. That's 720, that's what I use. I will not now install that. Maybe someone asks, I can show that, but I think it's quite easy actually to do. Let's just see. I will show you the browser. So this is where I have this from. As it says, it is a minimalist development environment for native Microsoft Windows applications. So in my understanding, it is essentially a port of a lot of the GNU tools, especially the G++ and the GCC compiler to Windows. So essentially, you can just write on the Windows command line like you would in Linux. What is important that this thing actually really produces Windows code, so it does not produce uh, Linux code. So that's what it also say. It does not provide a POSIX runtime or something. It just lets you use the G++ and some other binutil tools that you might know from Linux and might like, as I do, under Windows. But essentially, it creates an Windows exe file, and you can really just download it. And there is some installers here. And yes, that should be it. I mean, it's some time since I installed it. I don't know if they really changed something in between, but it should really be just kind of like self-extracting and self-installing more or less. And then when you just have it, you essentially just put it into the path. And yeah, that's essentially it. Um, and when you have it in the path, it's just a matter of um, yeah, invoking all the tools like I did here. So yeah, let me know if that's a problem, then I can show you also how that works. But I guess it won't be a problem. So good. Let's see what we have here. Okay. Next thing that I will actually show you is how to install the simple direct media layer, because that's something yeah, some people might not have done. I want that to basically run, and so let's do this kind of together. So you can go here to the site libstl.org and yeah, basically download and go to the download section. And there, what is important, if you do the same way as I do, I mean, you can essentially, of course, download whatever you like. So we need the development libraries, we need headers and the libraries themselves, and I use the mingw stuff. So we'll just download that. And I think I will also show you the Windows Explorer to see how these things look like. Let's see. Okay, I think we will use this one here. Okay. Yep. So you can also see the Explorer. Let's arrange this in that way. Let's see if that makes sense. Please let me know if you can read that actually. I'm not super sure about that. So yeah, what we will do is to essentially just unpack the stuff. If I would see where it is. Okay, there it is. It's SDL2. So here we go. We'll just extract it to, let's extract it to T programs. Let's just do this projects. So I will just do this here now. Yeah, that's a disadvantage of live streaming. Everything takes quite a lot of time, but at least you see how it's done if you're interested. Um, go to libs. Where is it? Here we are, and then let's make a new folder. Let's call it, oops, STL2 MINGW, and there we will put it into, and now I can show it to you a better way. C++ libs. So there it is. And then we just have to extract it here. And I think we can just get rid of this. So now that we have this, let's see. I'm never completely sure which version to use, so but we will see very, very soon. I am, that's a bit embarrassing. I'm never 100% sure now, but okay, it's the x86-64, so we might just use that one here. So what you've got here is the runtime DLLs. We will actually need them very soon, but let's have that out of the way for now. We have all the include files here. Sorry, these we will obviously need to include in our source code. And then here is the lib. Okay, I don't know what the share does, but the lib, there we have all the static libraries. There's always a bit of confusion, at least for me, when to use this libstl main and when not. But we will come to that, and that will be our first our first challenge to have that run. And yeah, let's just get that out of the way, and let's have something very basically running. To do that, they have SDL really has quite a nice documentation there. It's in a wiki form, and I really like to have it here by category. Um, and I very frequently read this. It's like there is some good pieces of code, like I think this one is a good one. Yeah, that just gives us a very basic idea on what we must do to actually see a window. So what I want to do for today, for the first thing, like also a bit of like a motivation. I don't want to start actually with the backend. I want to do some basic client window that shows up, and just to just to see something that runs, that works, and yeah. So this is like what we want to achieve for now, and then we will see how far we come. Um, so let's really start with the basics. So what we need to do is we need to include SDL.h. Let's bring that out of the way right away. So yeah, we have the first slight issue. Let's put that away. And let's move maybe the Chrome here, so that you can still see that. So what we need to do now, and we actually need to have the Explorer here as well. What we might want to do now is to actually include STL2 STL.h, because essentially that's where the thing is. So that's under include, it says STL2, and then there is STL.h, that's here. So what we essentially have to do is to tell our compiler here where to find this directory. And we can do this with the oops, -I command. Let's see if that works like this out of the box, or if there is a problem with some, whoops, with some escaping. Let's see. Really not sure, but let's just try it out. I don't know what's going on. um, okay, my Vim is killing me. Um, but okay. Okay, that's actually the only thing I wanted to do. Oh my God. Okay, so um, let's see if that thing still builds. Yeah, actually does. Then the next thing we need to do is to let's just do one small thing here. Let's just do uh, initialize SDL2. Um, SDL init video. Um, so if the initialization actually fails, then we will just write an error. And there is also this option how you can, I think you can even see it here. Yes, exactly. So you can also say with SDL get error to actually give us the error. What's happening there, and we will just return with a non-zero code. We will just return 1, and that is it. So therefore we see that if we see this stuff here, all is good. So if we come to this point here, then we know it's good. If not, yeah, we will fail. So let's try to compile this. And so now, okay, it says doesn't find it. Let's see. Let's try to, um, sorry, let's do it. Let's just replace this. And let's see if that works. No. Why doesn't that work? First thing, okay. I mean that's already trippy. Cannot work. That's just stupid. Does not work. Why doesn't it work? Yeah, because I'm stupid. Sorry. We need to go like this. And here we go. And then there comes the things that we call linker errors, which is clear because we did not link to the library, so we get these undefined references. And these things we need to do by actually linking to some libraries. And we can see that here. So we need to link to libstl2. So that should be it. I mean, this will not work because he will not find the library. Yes, so we need to tell him in which directory we have it. And this is like almost same thing as here. Let's just do the proper slashes. Probably we can even do that in 2 lines. Let's see. Um, LD is not recognized. What does that mean? Yeah, I mean that's fine. That should actually work. So yeah, okay. So I don't know. He just didn't like it in the other line, so that's it's a bit messy, but I think we might be able to do it like this. See if that works. Nope. Okay. I will not spend too much time with this now. Um, good. So what is the problem here now? Now we have the problem that it says, what does it say actually? Undefined reference to win main. Um, so normally, let's see. This is always a bit of a problem. We can, when you run these things on the Windows, I, it's a bit weird. They have win main somehow specified in one of those libstdl libraries. I think it's libstdl2 main actually. I mean, let's just try this out. This is always a bit of a pain to get it to work. That always takes me 5 minutes or 10 or 15, I don't know, until that crap really works. Um, and there is a trick which I look up like all the time, which says SDL2 Windows undefined reference to main. Um, so, and then there is this trick where you just need to undefine some specific stuff. Um, okay, I don't like this so much. Same order. Yeah, so I like this solution actually the most. Um, I believe that, whoops, that worked for me. Let's see if that works. Yeah, seems to work. I think we will not see really a lot now, but at least we're building. Okay, now we see the next expected problem. Okay, at runtime we need the STL2 DLL, but that's no problem. We will just copy it. So essentially what we do is we just take the STL DLL, we copy it to our project, which is here. It's the MMO game, and we just put it here, and now that should run. All good. So you don't see any window or something because we didn't even create one, but at least we have, well, we should have a basically working SDL2 um, installation now, and now we can really build on that. Yeah, just took us some time, but yeah, it's fine. We have that now. Okay, and let's actually just look how to do this. So we will start really with a basic window, um, kind of more or less reproduce what we read here. No reason to reinvent the wheel here in that area. We'll just create a window. Let's have it now as a local variable. We will clean this up during the proceedings. But yeah, that's just simple now. Let's see that all this stuff works, and then we will make it a bit cleaner. Um, and for now, let's also do this do the stuff exactly as written here. We'll just create a window and a renderer. So this is like the most convenient thing to do. STL gives you like everything. It gives you the renderer, which is how to tell. I mean, it's a bit like a rendering framework in itself for 2D graphics, so you don't have to do everything from scratch and everything by yourself. You really can um, do. Just put that up. Um, you really can do um, very easily. You can render 2D stuff essentially, and you don't need to set up an OpenGL context and do some 3D rendering right from the start. This is really, I think this will be our first endeavors, our first steps, to just render some 2D sprites. That will make things easier. All the rest is hard enough, so we will just start easy, and then eventually the plan is to move to 3D rendering more and more using OpenGL. Yeah, but not now, not today, very probably. Um, and so, yeah, all these commands, they really follow a pattern. There's just STL underscore, and then you have the, the real command. It's some time since I used it actually. I used to know them all by heart. Um, yeah, so we have the create window and render function here. This is just the width and the height, and then you tell it which flags you want to use for the window. Let's actually go away. The window flags, like what we see here is what are the window flags? Here we have them. Yeah, I want to see them. I want to see the window. Resizable, windows maximized. Window is not visible. That's not useful for us. Um, it's not OpenGL. We will use that later. Um, we'll not do full screen now because that can mess things up quite easily when we're still in the experimental phase. I'm not even speaking of the streaming. Okay, let's just say it's resizable actually. I mean, that just makes sense. Resize. Okay, that's good. Um, two. Yeah, and then it needs the reference to our window. So it's a pointer to a pointer actually, and then we need a reference to a renderer, which we don't have, but we have now. And this is our renderer. And so if this is not zero, we essentially, if we get an error, then again, we will just completely bail out error while creating our window, exiting. And we might just ask STL, please be so kind and tell us what actually went wrong here. And let's do that. Let's see if we're building, and let's see if we are running. And you actually saw very, very quickly there was a window popping up. So to actually see the window, you have to kind of keep it alive, and to keep it alive, you have to have an event loop. And we will really do this like, let's actually introduce a nasty global variable here, which we say is game running equals true. So while this variable is true, we want our game to run. And what we do here is SDL poll event. And there we need a reference to an event. An event we can just have like this. This will be our current event. So what this does, it asks SDL, okay, well, what is the next event in terms of input and in terms of, yeah, mainly input. It can be keyboard, can be joystick. So we'll come to that. For now, we just need to poll the event queue. I believe we need to really poll it. And what I want to do is to actually have what they have here essentially is to say, well, if someone presses the um, closes the window by the means of pressing the X in the upper right corner, we will actually uh, yeah, break out of our loop and end everything here. Um, we will now do the rest here as well. Do we do that? Set render draw color. Set render draw color. Yeah, why not? Yeah. So set render draw color. This is really like the color that we will fill the background in now. Give it our renderer, and so this is just RGB and alpha, like the alpha value showing how much opacity do we have. Okay, that's the background. So let's just make it red, that we see something, just a bright red, almost killing your eyes. Then we say render clear. Then we say render clear. Then so we just clear the stuff, and then we say render present. We don't copy anything. We'll come to this whole thing of copying and copying and writing into textures a bit later. And yeah, render present, that's the important thing. We should actually see something now. Exciting. Okay, game running, that's not existing. That's not existing. Let's see. Okay, it's actually working. I mean, you don't see it, so I have to do something here. I think I will change a bit. Create window and renderer. Can we give it a title? Can we give it a title? No. Why can't we give it a title? Can't we give it a title? Cannot we give it a title? So, okay, just doing a small break.